Thanks everyone for joining us. Probably kick off now, giving people a few minutes just to jump in. Will be a little bit different to normal. Normally I am in the room, we can control everything a bit easier. However, due to some circumstances, I are remote at the moment. So with that, please be patient with anything that's going on from our side. However, Anne, if you want to flick to the next slides. Alrighty, next slide there, Anne. Perfect. So today we do have a few people virtually with us at the moment. So obviously myself, so Senior Solution Consultant here at Access 4, also joined by Anne, our Head of Platform, and David, our Lead Product Manager for UC Express. So going to be running through a few things today. So on the agenda, we will be talking about our migration tool that we're releasing into beta and how that operates from our side. Some updates to our CPQ tool that have been released recently, so Anne will be running through that. We'll talk about some upcoming events that we've got, mainly our roadshow events, which are coming up in February and beyond. And then, like every end of year, we'll do some trivia, got some prizes to give away as well. Anne's very excited about that. So they are a little bit harder this year than previous years. Have to make it worth giving out some prizes, but let's see how everyone goes. But first of all, Dave, I'll hand it across to you. Dave, for some reason, I can't hear you. I can hear you. I can, but I'm not sure if that's through Zoom or not. No, I know it is. Give me 1 minute. You're good now. You just want to say something, Dave?
Yeah, sure. Hello, hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, I've got you.
Great. Let me get back to demo. Okay, fantastic. Let me just take you through quickly the start. So this is a 3CX console, the management console, and here is where you can create new backups and do restoring as well. But when you want to start migrating a customer from 3CX, they will go in here and create a backup. Important to click on all of the checkboxes except the last one. We don't want to encrypt that file. Then you can call it something, and then basically you create the backup, and then that backup will appear here in the list once it's ready, and then you can download it. And that is what we need. It basically produces a zip folder. Then you unzip that folder, and in that folder will be the XML document. So it'll look like this, and it will have all of these folders here. And this XML document is the one that we want to upload into SASBOSS when we do initiate the migration. So let me take you to the new tool. So this is where we create new customers, obviously in the customers tab. And very soon this new button will appear for partners. So this is the first time we're kind of releasing a feature that's under beta. So it has got that beta tag. We've done quite a bit of testing, but we want to probably get it out in the wild and get some feedback from partners and see how it all operates. So in this case, the first modal we have to input a few things. So here is where you choose that file. So here we just browse to that XML file and then we open that. We allocate a DID number. So obviously in SASBOSS, you need a DID number allocated to the group before you can start creating services. So we'll allocate a DID number to the group. We'll select the product for that DID number. We'll select the time zone for the customer. And we can select whether the product type is pay-as-you-go or included. Basically, this will first allocate the first plan that was created for UC Express under either included or pay-as-you-go. And then the default domain is populated here from the XML, but you can create an additional one. You will need to enter the address. Enter an ABN if you have one, and then select the industry type. Once that's complete, you're ready to go. So we will hit the submit button, and what you'll see now is basically SASBOSS will go in and check that there's no duplicate customers, and then start creating the customer from scratch. So it will create the customer. Then you'll see it creating schedules, so all of the office hour schedules, after hour schedules, and any custom schedules. Then it will start going through and creating each of the extensions or endpoints. The beauty here is that it saves a lot of time, basically replicating what you have in 3CX into SASBOSS without you doing all the manual rekeying, where errors can occur and it just takes a lot of time. So this makes it a whole lot more efficient, and it goes through each of these steps in order. So there's quite a number of extensions that are being created now. So yeah, you can go grab a coffee, have a drink of water. I guess I should set some context around this. So, we have had a lot of partners who have dabbled in 3CX, and 3CX has some quite a number of good features as a PBX. There are some shortcomings, though, we feel, especially for partners in our channel. Most of our partners want something that's very scalable, that's repeatable, and that's multi-tenanted, with good support for different sites and different time zones and everything like that. So that's probably the advantage of UC Express over 3CX, and one of the major reasons why people are moving away from 3CX into UC Express is to have that multi-tenanted, fully managed experience with all the integration that we do into customer billing and device management, provisioning and bulk change tools and all that kind of stuff, all within one portal, which is SASBOSS. The other beauty is that you can manage multiple different platforms in one platform, which is SASBOSS. So if a customer does start off in UC Express but wants to move to Teams, that's really easy to do. So it provides them a growth path and provides them security around which solution that they choose to go with. So while they may move from 3CX to UC Express as their needs change or differ, we can access a lot of different platforms and add-ons and things inside SASBOSS. So it's one management platform for the partner and very similar experience, even if the partner moves to another platform, because it's all here in SASBOSS. And you know that SASBOSS has done all of the billing integration and all of that kind of thing as well. So we're going through, we've had the ring groups being created. We can see the queues were created as well. And in each step, you'll see up here the things that are successfully created. And now it's going through and creating all of the IVRs for this customer. So it's quite hands-on.
Just while that runs, Dave, quick question
Yeah,
for you. So
yeah.
we've built this, we started working on this 9, 12 months ago, this kind of situation, and when it was version 18 of UC of 3CX.
Yes.
How's that been with version 20, and have we tested it there as well?
Yeah, so we haven't done a lot of testing on version 20. We've actually just implemented a warning that will pop up if it is version 20. So it's really geared towards version 18, and those partners who were reluctant to upgrade to version 20 or having difficulty upgrading to version 20, we will be doing some work in the new year just to make sure that it is validated for version 20 and it will work. The main difference being that there are departments in version 20 of 3CX, so we need to make sure that we cater for that when we do this to do this upload. So not at the moment, no support for version 20, but we will be providing that in the new year. So now you can see there's a lot of different sections. So the extensions here, we have seen 5 of 7 extensions have been provisioned, and there's a couple of errors here. Basically, there's differences between the validation in SASBOSS and the validation in 3CX, and that's why these errors or tweaks need to be addressed. So there are basically download templates here that you can download and fix any issues. We provide some instructions to do that, and then you upload the file here. So I can have a look at some of those. So if I've gone and pre-done this, so it doesn't take all day, but here these are the extensions that failed, and you can see originally there was some duplicate extensions, so I just changed the extension numbers, and Danish didn't have, he only had M as his last name, so we need at least 3 letters, I think, in SASBOSS. So I filled in his last name, and that's an example of a template, basically showing all the fields that you need to change. You basically just follow the instructions on the screen to fix those errors, and then you select the file. Playlist, no, that was the wrong one.
2 down.
Extensions, thank you. Yep, should have closed it. The good news is we have had a number of partners that we've used this tool on their behalf, and they're getting good use from it, and very complimentary about the time that it saves them. So while this will be in beta, as I said, we've done pretty extensive testing, and it has been used to migrate live customers as well. So now I've selected that file with the changes fixed, and then I upload that. If there was any errors, it would re-show any additional errors in that field, but in this case, I've successfully uploaded those and fixed those 2 extensions now. So that's done. This one here, there was the forward after timeout destination is required. So in this case, I've fixed that in a file for the ring groups, and I can upload that here, and that has been completed as well. So now we're jumping into the queues. 3CX and UC Express work a little bit different around callback and forwarding. So 3CX, you basically have to have them both active, and with UC Express, you can only have one or the other active at a time. So in this case, it detected that both were active, so it basically telling me to choose which one I will implement. And in this case, I did one for the failover I basically populated the forwarding address, and the other one I left as queue callback. So I have uploaded those now, and you'll see that the queues are now successful. In this area, the IVRs, so there's a couple of forwards. In this case, 3CX does provide a call flow designer, which adds a little bit of flexibility around specifying call flows and then basically calling that as a sub XML routine to achieve that call flow. So we don't support that in UC Express. It's something that we will call out in the instructions, but you can basically imitate those call flows. In this case, it shows you the apps that it's calling and the selection. So it's key 9 and key 8. And in this case, I just forwarded them to a different number. So one I forwarded to a queue, and the other one I forwarded to an external number. So in this case, I will get the call centers failed. I will upload that, and that is done as well.
There should have been the IPR one, correct?
Sorry, IVRs. Thank you, Mitch. Okay, here we have the DID numbers uploaded. So we can basically, here is a map of the phone numbers and the services that they are belonging to. And so you can download that for use later. We don't migrate the phone numbers. We let you manage at this stage the phone numbers external to the customer creation so that you can manage the porting and do all that afterwards. So here is just a map. So once you have ported your numbers, you can link them to the services quite easily. In this case, there was a duplicate number. So that is something that can be fixed when the numbers are added after porting. And here we have a phone list. In this case, there was some invalid characters in the phone list. So it's detected that, and I will just upload that as well. So I'll upload that, and that's all fixed. And now it will let me move ahead to the next step, which is announcements. So this is one that we've just recently released. So here you'll see all of the announcements required for each of the services that have announcements, and you'll be able to basically see which file it's wanting, and you can see those in the test in the backup folder, and you will see in the HTTP prompts, you will see all the fonts that are all the announcements there that are available to upload. So now I can see that I've uploaded empty.wav. It matches the file name. I could also upload a different file if I wanted to update that particular announcement on the fly. Now we could do that. So yeah, it doesn't have to match. So I'll just demonstrate that. So in this case, I've changed the file, and I upload the announcements, and that is now done. So it's basically placing those announcements inside the IVR with extension 9999, ready for that call flow to happen. Now, you don't have to basically wait for each one to be done. So you could go ahead and choose all the files, and then click on upload for each of those. It's sometimes a little bit quicker to do it that way. In this case, I don't want to complete all that, so I will go ahead and view the customer. Once I do that, I can't get back to the migration tool. So once you do that, you will have to go in and fix those announcements manually. In a future release, early in the new year, we will have ability to basically see the customer, see all the things that you've added, but still return to the migration tool and complete that as well. So that's coming in the new year. So now I can see all my services have been created, all of the IVRs, call centers, ring groups, all of the schedules are done, all the announcements are uploaded, the ones that I sent. And then if I jumped into any of those features, I would see all of the things like the agent assignment will match. The forward after timeout and all of that is all set up, so you don't have to basically recreate that. So it saves a whole lot of time, but now basically that customer is done and the call flow will match what's in 3CX. So that ends my little demo of the migration tool. So we will be launching that very shortly, just finishing off some of the documentation. So we're looking forward to getting that out in the wild and seeing any feedback that we have from customers as they migrate customers from that sort of per instance, very hard to scale, very hard to maintain sort of 3CX into the multi-tenanted, fully featured, fully supported, fully redundant SASBOSS and UC Express solution. So hopefully you'll get a lot of use out of that. Very keen to hear any feedback, so keep me posted. That's all for me, and now I will hand over to Anne.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel like you've already done a plug for SASBOSS already. I don't need to.
Yeah, well, I love SASBOSS.
It's like he's done this before.
That's really cool because that's a tool we've had internally for quite a while. Our solutions consultants have had access to it and they've been migrating customers and you've been adding to it, adding features as you've gone over the last few months. So it's really cool to see that in beta now and out to partners very soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can keep growing that, obviously, but with demand from partners, if they're using it and they want to see something new added, we can definitely do that as there is demand and people finding use from it. So
where's the present button?
Yeah.
There we go. Cool. All right. Well, thank you. Again, if there are any questions, you can put them in the Q&A. We'll come back to those a bit later. So I want to now talk about the CPQ. So CPQ has originally got launched quite a while ago in its first iteration and version. I've talked quite a bit about that. And what we've launched most recently, last month actually, is the next evolution of CPQ. So what we're talking internally, CPQ V2, which has a number of new features, but also quite a few changes to how it works. So but again, based on that feedback from you guys on using CPQ and what you needed from it, we've actioned that. So one of the major changes is that all the features are free, and I've talked about it already. So when call flow was behind the premium before, that's now right at the front. So everyone has access to use visual call flows and all those features like proposals and additional fees that you can keep stored from your price books in there. So today what I want to talk about is sort of the best things for you guys as techs to help support your sales team who are using CPQ day to day. So the very first one is customizable templates. So we didn't have templates before. There were some call flows, some drawn up ones already by our team that you could use as a call flow to attach to your proposal, but they didn't link up to a bill of materials that could be edited and then saved as a new template to be used by your team. So one of the feedbacks we had from V2 CPQ is that my sales team keeps coming back to me asking what's the best solution for this customer as a launch back and forth. Wouldn't it be so great if I could create a template that suits most of those customers that we sell to all the time that they can use and just edit? They can add a few more endpoints. They can add another call center queue if they need to. So just modify. They don't have to keep coming back to me because that delays getting the quote out to the customer. We want to have this great customer experience in our sales cycle. So templates is one of the things that we brought in. I'll do a demo of that in just a minute. The second one was intelligent product recommendations. So this was geared towards MSPs that may be new to selling voice or just don't do it very often and aren't necessarily sure which product is the best for that customer, because we have quite a large product suite.
We do.
From UC Express, UC Excel, Teams, WebEx, like there's something for every customer out there that we've got.
Exactly.
And find the right one can sometimes be a challenge. So we put intelligent product recommendations in. So that asks you a couple of questions about what the customer needs are, and then it will tell you which product we're recommending. And then from that product, from that information, you can then browse the templates that are directly for that product. So if it's a UC Express recommendation, I'll keep talking about UC Express while you're here. UC Express recommendation, you can then go to the templates that we pre-filtered to UC Express templates, or it'll take you through the quote builder for UC Express, which is this really, it's not listed up there, but it's actually, I would call it a new feature. You can always build quotes before, but this was a really granular step through everything. So it would show you the licenses. So you'd have, light through to, essentials and professional. And then it would show you all the add-ons. It would tell you how many SIM calls you should probably be recommending based on number of users, channels that you need. So you couldn't miss anything. That's the point of this quote builder experience, is it steps you through every single step. And we have it for every single product we have. So if you're not familiar with selling so WebEx, for example, and because there's a lot of add-ons for WebEx and a lot of things you can do, it takes you through every single bit. Versus going the traditional route where you can just add all the licenses and add-ons. If you know exactly what you're doing, absolutely go there. It's really fast. You can do it as you always have, but the quote builder does step you through it, so you don't miss anything. And that's where intelligent recommendations takes you through. I mentioned already the visual call flow designer, and that's what's on the screen there. And you can draw your solution out with your customer next to you, having a conversation about it. They can see the actual value of what you're getting, not just a list of devices and licenses. They can see, oh, I can see, yep, that my sales team is going to be attached to that call center, and that hunt group's going to have these users. Oh, yeah, I can see it all panning out. And they understand the value that your sales team is pushing out, that you're then going to be delivering and provisioning. So that call flow designer then stays in the quote. So it gets created. You can either generate a bill of materials from the call flow. So everything on the screen there, you could then generate the bill of materials, and it'll add all your licenses, all the endpoints, all the add-ons that are attached to the endpoints, everything you got in there. And then you can customize further. You could have had devices in there, you can add them separately. But that then stays with the quote. So when that gets sent off to the customer, and customer, of course, says that looks fantastic, I'm going to go with that. That stays there with you. So when the sales team is finished with it, they can pass it through to the provisioning team, and they can see what the plan was. They can see, oh, maybe you've missed something here, maybe you need a bit more something there, and you can make changes and then provision it. But it's a really helpful visual tool, so you don't have to do so much back and forth again during the sales cycle and then after the sales cycle to get that customer back on board. And then number 4, as it always has been, built-in solution validation. So that's what we're talking about with the add-ons. So when you add a license, it only shows you the add-ons that are available for that license. So you're not sort of guessing all that's in there. It tells you if you don't have any endpoints in a call center queue, and recommends you add some so that your provisioner knows what's meant to go into that spot. But they're all recommended warnings. So from version 1, we had, instead of warnings, it would be errors, and it would say you haven't got a DID associated to that hunt group. You haven't got an endpoint in there. You need to have that to be able to provision this sort of solution. We found that sales teams didn't necessarily want to draw the whole thing and go to the nth degree of adding names and DIDs to everybody. So you could end at the hunt group now without putting endpoints in. You could end the contact center and have you had it. So that validation is still there to guide you and guide the teams on what needs to be there, but it's not blocking you anymore. So that's another feedback change. So everything we've done is around making it easier to get the quote out to the customer, but also the communication internally between the sales team and your techs. So that's what we've been trying to achieve here, to get that you winning customers easier.
That's a lot of extra value you've added. Are you sure it's free?
It is free.
My goodness.
It is completely
for
free.
Everyone.
Yes, for everyone, exactly. We spent a lot of work in this. We had partners in the beta programs testing, giving feedback, and we were making changes right up and to get the best value product out to you. As you say, yes, it is completely free. We want you to use CPQ. We want you to go after as many customers as you can and put out multiple quotes to these customers going through. So Mitch, if you could just change across to my Chrome tab.
Sorry, what was that one?
Just end the presentation in
Okay.
Yeah, just
There we go.
There we go.
Hey. Cool. All right. So I'll just refresh to make sure I'm still live. All right. So I'm going to jump through a few steps that probably aren't as valuable to you. So in this example, I'm in CPQ. An opportunity has already been created. So the access to text demo customer, I'm creating some opportunities, and I've got an original quote already in there. And so what I want to take you through is templates and scoping tool, and how this can sort of allow you to support your sales teams and providing the solutions that you're comfortable provisioning and going through with. So let's go scoping tool first. Let's go scoping tool. So the very first question, and this is, again, it's helping you guide to the right product, is it asks you a series of questions about what does the customer need. And in a lot of cases, the customer has already come through and said they know what they want. They want Microsoft Teams because they've heard about it and that's exactly what they want, or they want UC Express, or it could be customers 3CX but isn't doing the migration. You might know what the customer already is, and so let's say it's we want UC Express. Yeah, absolutely. UC Express is there, and then you can go and look at your UC Express templates. You can go through and manually create your quote, or you can use the quote builder, which again takes you through all the licensing add-ons and forth. So I might choose a product that has a few more add-ons. So Microsoft Teams has a bunch of different flavors. So Microsoft Teams, you can have basic enhanced, you can have channel only, you can have Flex, which is the new product that came out last year. Go through Operator Connect. You might not know which flavor they want, and that's fine. If you say not sure, they then ask you a couple more questions. They are dedicated or shared phone lines. Let's say they need dedicated add-ons, like so they need call recording or analytics. But maybe I need for a couple of users. No worries. Do they need dedicated phone lines? No, let's go flexible. And in this case, it says Microsoft Teams. So it steps you through a process to narrow it down for the product, and then recommended this one based on that logic. And then I can go through and use Quote Builder. And here I am being stepped through the process. So in Flex, you have enhanced Microsoft Teams channels, and I can go through and start adding a few in there, a few in here. Again, I won't go through everything there, but as you can see, I've put some users in there, and it's now said, oh, for that many users, we recommend putting at least 4 channels in. And I can see I've got 9 user licenses and 4 channels. And again, it goes through and it tells me all the add-ons. This is again that logic being brought in. So here's everything that you can put through there. I've got call recording light. I can have UC paid. Again, one of the new products, and because I've only got 4 channels, I can only have 4 of those. So I'll put a couple of those in, and it steps you through every single step. You get your group services, you can do your call queues. I'm not going to put everything in right now, but when it goes through, you can then have everything in there. It'll give you some warnings about contact center queue. You can only have the maximum number of people in each one. And again, I haven't gone through and put any call center queues in, and so it'll grey out what I can't do. iCall suite, and again, it tells me what I need to unlock this. I need to have at least 1 ultimate user license. All that's already in there. And at the end, it gets me to a quote, and I can see, so I didn't go through and added quite a lot there because it was doing really quickly, but I can see on my licenses, I can see which product they're on. And if you did have more than 1 product provision, productized for each of these licenses, you get to choose between. It'll then update your pricing. I could go from included to pay as you go, and the pricing updates, as you can see there, and I can see everything all at once, and then I can go through and build that quote, and it will then appear within the opportunity for me. So create that quote, I can see everything that I didn't put any group services in, but I can see all the endpoints I put in there for Microsoft Teams. Everything will be there, including everything else, and then it's already got included calls, that's what I suggested. And go through. So if I go back to the opportunity, that quote's now in there, and I could save that quote. If that's a really common quote that I do, I could probably put a call flow in there and save that as a template. So on to templates, actually, I'll jump on templates first. So if you're coming in here, what we're seeing most partners doing is going through templates because it gives you a call flow and a bill of materials first. So coming in here, you can see all of your templates. And we're in video demo resale, which is one of our demo accounts. So a bunch of people probably be going in and adding a few templates that don't have call flows and saving them there. So if you go into the SASBOSS ones, so they're the ones provided by us. You can see there's some ones from Microsoft Teams. You can filter by product. You can then go, so when you're saving a template, you can either save it to yourself or and share it within your reseller. So if you have the the correct permission. So if you're a reseller, super admin or a reseller admin, basically if you're just a sales agent, you can save it to anyone there. And then you can also go through and see all of your personal ones, which I've been going through and been making a couple UC Express ones.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I thought so. So for example, I can go through and let's do a simple reception hunt group one. So click on that template. I know it's a broad-soft product. It's got, I can see there's 4 executive licenses. I've got a hunt group. I've got a DID. This is what the call flow looks like. Yep, that looks about like what my customer's going to need. I can then go and create call flow from quote. Yes, please. All right. So it's gone through and it's pre-filled my bill of materials with all the licenses that were in there. And also I've got my call flow. So I could then go and edit this as I like, because maybe the customer needs 5 executive users as opposed to 4. I can go in, scroll through, I can look at my agents, edit, and I can add another one. Yeah, user. Executive user, we'll go with that one. And I can just create that through. It automatically adds it in, save changes, and I have 5 executive users there. And let's say that that's now the standard of what I normally sell. I can then go through and create update as a template. So I can update my existing template, which had the 4 in there, or I can create a new one. And I can say demo. And I can add anything else I want in here to say that, or I can add a description. And then importantly, I can save it just for myself. So I get used to this, use of the template, or I can save it to everyone in my reseller so that if as a tech, you can then share it with the rest of the sales teams and they can have access to it. So.
Wow, that's awesome. I think that's going to be a huge time saver, especially if you have very similar deployments for a lot of customers. It's probably just rinse and repeat, and add a few tweaks, and the quote's ready.
Yeah, exactly. Then that's the feedback. We're trying to save that time of having to start from scratch every single time, because some people we do the same thing, just let us use a template for it so we can start and just customize. And others felt that starting with a blank canvas, like when you're writing an essay at school, it's kind of hard to start from the blank. You just want something to go off of, and I can customize it as I need.
Brilliant.
So Mitch, so you've been using it internally, and also sharing with partners over the last couple of weeks since it's launched. How are you seeing the value of this with internal to Access 4?
I'm loving it. As everyone knows, Access 4 has a large amount of product sets, and coming as a new person coming into Access 4, it's a lot to learn. Like, it's a lot to learn from a reseller having to resell our product sets. Imagine coming in as an actual Access 4 staff member. It's another level altogether. Internally, us being able to use this to help bring our junior salespeople and our junior SEs up to speed a lot faster with our product set, everything like that, it's absolutely amazing. Being able to get them to copy templates, everything like that, build out what they need to. It's definitely been a upskill internally for our team, and being a new way of being able to train our teams up. And it's one of those things that's been asked for years from the CPQ side, even back when it was still part of PRC, was can we do call flows, can we do templates, that kind of side of things into it. So it's definitely something that's been great that's actually finally there to have those templates, to be able to create them yourselves. If you do want assistance, you can always rely on my team to help you out as well if you need to. But it's going to save so much time for us internally, and then our partners as well.
Yeah, I laugh you saying you're loving it, because I've seen you in the last 2 weeks going into the call flow designer and having a great time. So I'm really glad that you're enjoying it, but also we want to see our partners getting the value from using this tool, because it is built for you so that you don't need our team to help you every single time you put a quote out. We are obviously there to support you all the way through the sales process, but this gives you all the tools to know the product set, to put something together that you know is going to work and can confidently push through to a customer that will require minimal customization during provisioning. So that's the main goal of CPQ, is to make selling voice in our product suite easier for you. So for those who haven't used CPQ version 1, I know there's a lot of partners out there who have joined since that and maybe haven't seen it. So I just want to step through. So there's the call flow. You can see it's obviously a pre-built one. You can customize any sort of item on the call flow. You can drag and drop items. So if you want to add an IVR, you can come on and add the IVR, and it will add it through, and you can put your night service in and everything else. And so you can do what you want, and it'll add it directly onto your bill of materials. Here's your bill of materials drawer, which has all your cost items in there. So that's really useful, and you can then generate your bill of materials from that, which again has its validation in there. You can't create something that doesn't actually connect up and work together. But that's one of the really big points of CPQ. If you go to your licenses, again, everything is in here, and you can change between product types to see what the different pricing is and how that will look. And if I'm going in here and I add something, let's say I add a Operator Connect SIP trunk, I can also go in and I can now add discounts, which from a sales team perspective, they're loving this and they want to have it, but that wasn't there in original 1.0. So that's now there, and you can add the discounts. You can then go through adding devices, which are ordered by vendor. You can do your DIDs. Again, you can put discounts on anything that's in here, going through, and you can have your New Zealand DIDs and go through and put them in. You can put your porting fees in there as well. Additional features, the piece that was only in Premium 1.0, but is now available again for free to everybody. And that's where you can add anything else you would include that isn't in our price book. So that could be a setup fee or a professional services fee, a call out fee, and you can put them in. So you basically, it's quite easy. So you can add there, you add a new name for it, and you can pick from your existing categories that you've already created. So again, there's some test play data in here, or you can create a new category. We'll put ours under support, type of item it is. So we'll say it's for use case, and then I can go through and I can say it's $50, and it's a once-off fee or it's a monthly fee. So you might have a recurring professional service that you would chuck in there, and it will then add it under the right piece, and I can then edit that one as needed as well. So that's really useful. We've seen a lot of partners come in and add a few things in here, especially if they're not selling a lot else with it. This is a enclosed thing. You can add all your pieces in here. And then the other thing that's really, really useful, and there's a lot of things that are really useful, but I like to call out is, so you have two flavors of what you can sort of send out to the customer. So there's this quote version, which is bill of materials style, and it's quite short and sweet, and you get that out really quickly to your customer. Or there's a proposal format as well, and so there's quite a bit more information in the proposal, including your call flow, including product information, device information, which you can control everything in here, what you'd like to include. So in this point, we're not talking about executive user license with information in there, but we can include call flow, and I can save that. Your executive summary is in there, company information is in there, terms and conditions. You have all control over what goes into that, including your branding, and then the information comes out in this nice professional quote, and then that's your call flow. You can also have comments, so you can talk within your teams. I've added this, and I'm going to add that. You can change who the quote editor is, so I can transfer it across to another sales team member. And then you can also, so you can download the proposal as a PDF or a CSV, but you can send it directly to the customer, and it will be received as an email to them for them to review and sign off. But you can also send it to someone within Access 4. So I could send it, so this one's not set up with, it's different resale, but I can send it to my solution consultant. I can send it to my PGM Access 4 for them to have a look at and validate. So that's CPQ.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Anne. Just a little conscious of time, so don't want to rush you. Know you put a lot of time and effort into it, but just want to continue on so we can get through a few things. If you just want to skip over POC Sandbox, and we'll jump into the upcoming event first of all. So perfect. Thank you so much. So like every year, we are doing our roadshows again early next year. So they kick off end of February. Everyone's going to be happy. I know Adelaide and Brisbane used to, we used to do them on Tuesdays. We're not doing them on Tuesdays for those cities anymore. It's going to be a Thursday night. So every city is going to be a Thursday night from now on. So we're doing all 6 cities that we normally do across those across 6 weeks. Bit of a break in the middle there, just to give Access 4 staff a bit of a break rather than traveling every week, but going to get them all done again. A little bit of change to how we normally do it as well. We're still doing the big dinner event with Anne and Aaron, our head of product, up on stage talking about what's coming up from their side of things. Introduction, Tim Jackson, our MD, doing his presentation as well. But where we did a access to text beforehand, we're changing into more of a solutions perspective, a solution sell perspective. So it's still going to be technical, still talking about how products fit together, how it operates, things like that. However, it's also going to be a little bit salesy as well. So how to actually put it into a real world solution rather than just talking about a product at a high level. So it's going to be a different way of doing things. So it kicks off at 4 o'clock, 4 till 5:30, which is when drinks start for the dinner anyway. So I'd love to get as many of you to that one as those ones as possible as well. I know either myself or one of the SEs is going to be at all of them, as well as Matt Jamison, our head of channel as well. So lots of people coming along to those. Just while we're on that, getting a few people registered, and people can scan that QR code. And we did have one question come through. So CPQ call flow is great, great from a sales perspective, but talking to techs, they always are going to ask the same question of live call flows. So what's been deployed for a customer?
Yeah, that's the team's actually working on that right now. So moving on from CPQ, the version 2, and bringing that to sales, we have to get that right before we can then bring it through into a live solution. So there will be visual call flows from in the provisioning and setup, so you can create your customer and have everything put together before you go live with a call flow, making that more visual as opposed to a menu-driven experience. But live call flows, so a customer is live and what they've got going on in their call flow, that will be coming next as well. Yeah, so that's next year.
Awesome. Glad.
And
I know.
Sorry, I just want to jump in. So if you would like to be involved in the beta for that, or to be sharing your feedback of what you'd like to see in the call, what level of information, that's what we're doing right now. We're trying to understand what needs to be drawn in the call flow, because CPQ call flow for sales doesn't need to have as much information as live call flow that you're editing and changing all the the settings and treatments to. So that's what we're doing. If you would like to be part of those focus groups and sessions and the beta for when it comes out, please message through. We'd love to.
We just had someone. I'd love to be part of that beta, so I'll forward their name across to you after this, Anne.
Awesome.
Awesome. Got a few people actually, so that's awesome. That's great to hear. All right, so time for trivia. Do understand that we have gone over. Trivia is going to take about a little bit 10 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. So I'd love you guys if everyone could stick around, participate. Otherwise, totally understand that we have gone over. So understand if people do need to jump off, that's no problem. So that should be sharing now. People should be able to see during the quiz. There's this link on the left-hand side there for slido.com and an access code, as well as QR code as well. So just put that on that as well. So give people a few minutes to jump in. I do know there's some Access 4 staff members joining as well in the webinar. You are more than welcome to jump in, but you're not allowed to win a prize. That's what I'll say to that one. If you do come first, you do not get it. It's going to be as simple as that.
I always enjoy Access 4 trivia. Sometimes I learn something that I didn't know every time.
It's fine. We'll do it internally.
Yeah, that'd be good. Next showcase on all hands.
I can take 10 minutes all hands, sure.
Mm.
So for those of you who haven't done Access 4 trivia with us previously, a bunch of the questions will be Access 4 focused. Obviously, we need to keep it on brand. That being said, some of it's also a bit of pop culture, bit of general knowledge, 2024 as a year. So some things that happened this year as well. There's also some trick questions of things that didn't happen this year. So look out for those. And then the last 5 questions are all Access 4 focused. which are quite difficult. So they're the ones that may make the difference for some people to win the prize, separate some people to win the prize. If two people do tie, it is based on time as well. So just be aware of that.
Is Slido showing up for you? I think it might be our trivia slides on PowerPoint.
No, it's showing up as me because I'm sharing my screen, so you may not be able to see it.
Okay.
Feel free to go through the slides in the deck as we go. But I will kick off and start this process. So I believe people can still jump in if they haven't been joined just yet. But first question, mobile hardware company BlackBerry was founded in which country? So 53 people percent said US, with 29 saying Canada. Correct answer is Canada. How many controllers could a Nintendo GameCube have plugged in at one time? 4, 8, 2, or 6? %83 of people said 4, which is correct. Next question. Which city did Access 4 host the conference in 2023? Queenstown, Sydney, Port Douglas, or Darwin? I know there's some people in the chat or in the webinar who were at this conference. 56% people said Sydney, 28 said Port Douglas. The correct answer is Port Douglas. What company did Access 4 acquire in 2024? Novum Networks, Mere Distribution, Channel UC, or Mitel? And I can see you laughing still, even though you're on mute. Correct answer is Channel UC. If you were to code software in language that is only ones and zeros, what language would that be? What type of language would that be?
It's great.
You got that one.
I got that one.
You wouldn't have got the Nintendo one though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, you're not a big gamer, are you?
It was before my time anyway.
Oh, was it?
I didn't get the
So everyone said binary. Which movie won Best Picture at the 96th Academy Awards?
26th.
I didn't even put in what year the 96th Academy Awards were. So, and yes, option 5 does not count. The correct answer was Oppenheimer. What was the name of the song that won Eurovision 2024?
Yeah.
You have?
Need to be a big Eurovision fan to probably guess this one.
These are multiple choice for them. Just be high.
Yeah.
And the code is the correct answer.
Yeah.
What was Ash Ketchum's second Pokemon? This is becoming old. This is old nerd pop trivia, I guess, or kids pop trivia, depending on when you grow up. I honestly didn't know the answer to this one, so and looked amazed by me saying I didn't know it.
Shocked. I'm shocked. Do you know the answer?
No.
29% of people got the answer correct. Which former Star Trek actor directed Three Men and a Baby in 1987?
That's a great movie. I love that movie. Three Men and a Baby. Watch the movie all the time when I was a kid. Oh, yeah.
So it's a great movie, Anne, but who directed it? %53% of people got it correct with Leonard Nimoy. How many stars are featured on the New Zealand flag? 5, 2, 0, or 4? We do have some people from New Zealand on today, so hopefully they do get it correct. 65% of people got it correct with 4. So currently Ben is leading with 9 out of 10 correct, followed by Pat on 8. So still anyone's game. And a bunch of people on 7, it looks like, so it's good. What year was the Oculus Rift revealed to the public through a Kickstarter campaign? 2011, 2010, 2013, 2012.
2012?
Mm.
Maybe 2012. I think 2012.
It also depends, was it because it's when it was originally revealed, not when it was released. So that's very different years there as well.
Mm.
Correct answer is 2012. 41% of people got that correct. At the Access 4 conference, 3 Access 4 staff members jumped off a bridge for charity. Who did not jump? Was it Tim Jackson, Laurie Cole, Matt Milne, or Nicholas Clement?
Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're not muted, by the way.
Mm.
50% of people got that correct. It was Nick who did not jump off the bridge. Our road shows for next year, for 2025, have a tagline. What is it? CX Solutions, the future of cloud communications. CX Solutions, your gateway to the future of cloud connectivity, transforming the landscape of cloud communication, or leading the next era in cloud communications. Some of you may still have the page open for the registration, which was on the screen earlier. 19% of you got that one correct. The future of cloud communications. USB 3.2 Gen 2 by 2 has a theoretical top speed of what? 0 gigabits, it's not actually real. 5 gigabit a second, 10 gigabit a second, or 20 gigabit per second. I did want to go with the 13% of you who think it's not real, because that is a horrible naming scheme. I missed what it was, just USB and then a number, not Gen 2 by 2. However, 27% of you got that correct with a theoretical top speed of 20 gigabits per second. What zodiac sign is represented by a pair of scales? %87 of you got that correct. I would not have got that one right. Who played Batman in the 1997 film Batman and Robin? Van Kilmer, Michael Keaton, Christian Bale, George Clooney. Anne is trying to remember based on the look on her face. 57% of you got that right with George Clooney. Coca-Cola's original color scheme was green. True or false? %64 of you got that right. That's false. In 2014, over 6 million General Motors vehicles were recalled due to a critical flaw. What was it? It's a lot of cars to have a recall on. Correct answer was faulty ignition switch. At least if it's faulty, it's not going to start. It's better than fuel lines breaking and things like that. So could be worse. Which Japanese country is the world's largest manufacturer of motorcycles? If you know your motorcycles, you'll probably get this one. And the correct answer is Honda. 36% of you got that right. How many gold medals did Australia win at the 2024 Summer Olympics? 18, 20, 16, or 15? %79 of you thought it was 18, which is correct. So Cloud Chat has come back and is now winning. Time for the last 5 questions. As I mentioned, the last 5 are all Access 4 focused. So good luck. How many followers does Access 4 have on its LinkedIn page? $8,500, $8,800, $6,500, $6,600. I don't know if 20 seconds was long enough for anyone to be able to find Access 4's LinkedIn page. 8,500 is the correct answer. 27% of you got that right. Access 4 recently won a Reseller News New Zealand Innovation Award. What was the award for? Security, Specialist, Sustainability, Channel Excellence. These are all awards that were nominated that night, or that were all up for grabs that night. I do wish it was Channel Excellence. Unfortunately, it was Specialist, so no one got that one correct. Which 2 Access 4 t-shirts were released in 2024 roadshows? Muppets, Thors, Ninja Turtles, Star Trek. This is multiple choice. You can select multiple here. Ooh, it was the Ninja Turtles and Star Trek. However, Thor is apparently our most popular, so maybe we need to do a reprint of Thor. Which city does Access 4 not have an office? Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne, or Perth? This has recently changed, and it's mostly due to our recent acquisition. 73% thought it was Perth. The correct answer is actually Brisbane. We do have a post office, interestingly enough, due to our acquisition of Novum Networks. What is the oldest active service pack in SASBOSS? Voicemail add-on, executive user, core queue basic, receptionist console. %40 of people thought it was the executive user. Correct answer is the receptionist console. Before we actually even had the executive users packs. So winner today is Cloud Chat, with Ben F being runner-up. So Cloud Chat, it's a $100 Prezi voucher on its way to yourselves. And Ben, you get a $50 one on your way as well. And then whoever came last gets a prize as well. So we'll be shipping something to yourself as well. That is everything for today. Stop sharing. Would like to thank everyone for coming along today. Do appreciate everyone sticking around as well. I did see a bunch of other people put up their hands to jump into be part of that beta program for the call flow when we launch it. So I'll provide all of your names to Anne, and she'll be in touch, or someone from her team will be in touch. Otherwise, do thank you again, and we'll see you next year when we bring back Access to Text in 2025.